Okay, it says I'm live. Let me straighten up my hair a little bit. I would definitely say now it is time for a retwist. It's time for a retwist. And I'm thinking about doing that on live, but I kind of don't want to do that on live because that takes hours, sometimes days. I don't know if I want to do that. I got my coffee. I got my Kindle. It is Tuesday, May 19th, and the time is 8:09. Sawubona, my people. Still trying to wake up, even though I've been up since like 6 this morning. I feel like the birds is louder than me right now. Something told me I should plug in my microphone. Um, I was like, no, I don't need to be so, I don't know. Yeah, so I want to come on this live and kind of start building momentum and building the habit and pattern of creating content here. And I think that this is the best time to do it because it's still quiet. I'm kind of fresh and up and, ready to start my day. And it just feels more in alignment with where things are going with my content. I was talking about how I deleted my TikTok and deleted my content over there, and now I'm over here. So, over on my TikTok, just like over here, coffee is perfect, by the way, a little too sweet, just the way I like it. Mm. So, over on my TikTok, I was all over the place. Like I said, I would do tarot, I would do fiber art, I would do tech, I would do a food review, I would do sourdough, I would do everything. Um, and I could see how the algorithm, would get frustrated and would not know how to, push my content. I make it difficult, I guess. So I decided, after starting with fiber art, my hands and wrists yesterday, I thought about recording it. With this hand, I was having muscle spasms. It was twitching. And I could feel and hear that, I got I got a trigger point or something like that, right? And I told myself, like, okay, well, I'm not gonna crochet or I'm not gonna knit anything. I was in the middle of crocheting a muumuu dress, and I was in the middle of learning how to knit a sweater for my son, his birthday. For his birthday, is coming up, so I wanted to have that done before his birthday or like on the day of his birthday. I've decided I'm not even going to finish that sweater. I did the collar. I did 8 centimeters of the collar of a rib stitch, and that's it. And my thumb was twitching yesterday, and I had massaged it, and it was the first time that I felt those little spiky pin things, and I was getting scared. I was like, "Oh no, not my wrists, not my hands. I'm getting the spiky feelings, the pokey feelings or whatever." So, that twitching and the prickly feeling had me say no more fiber art for the rest of the month. I have to take the rest of the month off. I want to do some knitting. I even want to do the little movements. I'm not gonna no repetitive movement on my hands right now. They need a break. So that's why I switched from fiber art. I could feel months ago that my hands were, getting sore and achy. And so now I'm getting more signs that I need to take a break on the fiber art. Not so much for me. So then I switched, I think, to tech. I was okay. Well, since I can't do fiber art consistently and every day, and I'm not even really that good at it, like to be honest, I'm good at it, but I could be better. I could be greater, in my opinion. And I think that's true. There's always room for improvement. But I switched to tech because, like I said, I did not feel qualified in fiber art, and I was starting to get achy and sore. But I knew I was qualified in tech, so I thought that I would be able to create tech content. And I did create some tech content. It just wasn't the best tech content because um, the popular trendy tech content right now is, of course, those beautiful gaming builds and expensive tech, right? Things that I can't afford. I can't talk about the iPhone 17 and because I can't afford it, right? Like, I can't talk about things that I can't afford, in my opinion. um so that put a real damper on my tech content because I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I don't have the funds to buy this equipment and these devices to create a tech platform. Way more expensive than I thought it would be. And I thought I could just promote my tech support skills. That's harder than it looks like, right? Because I just don't have the money to fund and back up and support my shop. And, I don't have the tools that I would even need. So that put a damper on because it's like, yes, I have the knowledge. I don't have the equipment. I don't have the tools. I don't have, you know, the hardware, pretty much. So then after I did tech, I switched to teaching English as a foreign language. I got my teaching English as a foreign language certificate, and I love having that certificate. I really do. As a teacher, as a certified teacher, now I have my TEFL certificate. So I'm like, yes, kudos to me. I'm proud of myself for that. And I thought that I could make TEFL content, right? And it's a great idea. But the fact that I am homeschooling my kids, I'm drained. By the time their homeschool is done, I do not want to make adult content for learning English. And I tried to make kid content, and it's so cute and it's so fun. I do like it, but by the time I'm done teaching them, I don't have the mental capacity. I don't have the energy to then create separate TEFL content. So I'm trying to figure out how can I juggle that. And it's a juggle, right? And I haven't figured it out. So I had to put a pause on. I even tried doing homeschool on my TikTok, and during one of these lives, not this one, right? Because I'm on YouTube, but on a TikTok live, my son broke my TV, his TV. So it was wild and crazy over there, and I was doing so much just to like get my followers and views and comments, and um, I feel really just relaxed and calm and over here. I don't know if it'll stay like that because, I might start having a lot of people join my lives. I might not. But right now that I'm trying to build this momentum on this platform, I feel good. And I don't feel like I have to juggle so many things to get seen. So after the TEFL content, I realized, this is a lot. This is too much. I'm juggling way too much. And that's when I just stopped trying to market and promote myself really as a business or as um a professional or anything like that. And I just wanted to vlog my journeys, right? I just said, I don't even want to be a content creator anymore. I'm gonna just vlog what I'm doing. And so that's what I was trying to do on TikTok. And I got flagged for, talking about food, growing some food in my living room. And because I said the word, I got hashtag got removed. And I don't want to come over here, ringing no alarms or nothing like that. So I don't even think I'm gonna be talking about that content over here either, because I was looking on Reddit and I had seen somebody saying that their content had gotten taken down when they weren't promoting anything, inappropriate. So that honestly just lets me know that food, it must be more than food. And y'all don't want to talk about it, but we not, like I said, I don't want to ring no alarms. Let's get into the Kindle. So, I wanted to talk about what I want to do on this platform, right? Like I said, I don't want to do a lot of juggling. I don't want to do high performancing. I'm tired. I am. I'm 37 years old. I got 3 kids. I don't have the time to be, I don't. So if I can't, like I said, if I can't do this, then hey, it's a wrap for me. So I was thinking about just reading, just reading, because that is something I always do. I always love to do. And I feel like I can afford access to books because of the library, right? When it came to fiber arts, especially now, yarn is expensive. It didn't used to be as expensive as it is now, but it's like guarantee you paying $25, $30 for yarn. And then I don't want to get on that rant, right? Because of what's going on with the prices today, it's harder for me to afford RAM. Like, why is it $1,000 for 16 gigabytes of RAM? So I realize right now books are, I can access them easier than tech. I can access them easier than fiber, yarn, and yarn tools, and that's getting difficult to keep in supply. And then with my hands, like, why am I going to keep buying yarn that I can't work with right now? So I realized, like, maybe I should just focus on books that I read. And that's what I want to do right now. I do tend to switch up my niche. Like, I've just spent all this time explaining. I've done many different niches. And so now I've fallen on this lily pad on my journey. We've hopped on to booktube and book content. And I think this is the safest lane for me, where I'm not violating community guidelines, as long as, I don't read any books that, are copyright, have copyright in them or on them, or whatever you want to say. Um, so that leads me to what I was talking about, but I kind of want to back it up a little bit. I want to talk about the book that really, like, convinced me that I should talk about books as my content. So I'm gonna open it up. I don't even know if I have it on here no more. Oh, my stomach is growling. It's the coffee. Here it is. So when I read this book, I got it from the library, right? So on my Kindle, it is giving you the link to purchase it. Let me see. How can I show it better? Make it bigger like that. You can't really see it. Let's see here. Maybe if I make that's better. There you go. Now you can see it. All right. Turn the brightness up. That's what was the problem. So, Tell My Horse. That is the book that after I finished listening to the audiobook, I was inspired or moved or motivated to talk about books. And that book really like changed my perspective when it comes to writing with AI right now, when it comes to reading as a teacher and as a parent with the illiteracy um, pandemic going on right now. Um, and as a Black woman in America, I'm really aligning with books right now in my life journey. Books seem to be where I need to focus on right now. And so that's why I want to come over here and change my content. It probably still will be a little bit of tech, but not as much tech. It probably still will be a little bit of crafting, but not so much crafting because I've come to obstacles on those journeys. So we're going to have to hop on a new path, hop on a new journey, hop on a new lily pad, like I said, and that's books. So to avoid copyright issues so that I could read and show the book and talk about the book and people join me, make it easier for people to join me in reading the book and they not have to worry about, oh, I gotta pay for this or it not be expensive. I decided to start my book content. My thumb is hurting, that's why I'm massaging it. I decided to start my book content on The Wizard of Oz. So, my bad. So I think that might be a sign that I should sound like a little munchkin to me, but that to me tells me like yeah, I'm getting signs, I'm getting s- the synchronicity that this is where I should be, and this is what I should be talking about, and it don't really make sense to me right now, but I'm just going along with where I am in my journey, what does make sense and what kind of don't make sense. But I know that, according to these signs, I'm in the right place. This isn't a familiar space to me, but I'm in the right place. So I chose The Wizard of Oz. And I happened to look on Kindle to just to see like how much would it cost because I knew I could go on a website and I could download The Wizard of Oz for free because it's no longer copyright because it's a very old book now. So I knew I could, go on the website and download a PDF of it, and that is cool. That's fine. I don't have. I will do that if there's a book that I want to read. I will do that. But I just so happened to, inquire what did Kindle have, and they had all 15 books together, all in a series, and I bought it. But then when I looked at my receipt, it turned out to be free. That's why I'm laughing. Because it's like you thought you bought it. But then when you looked at your bank account, you was like, why ain't nothing get taken out the bank account? And then you checked and you look, a promotion. Thank you. I am happy and so grateful for promotions. So that alone let me know like, yes, I should come over here and I should be reading The Wizard of Oz. Something so basic, something so simple, something so old, but it's still content and it still kind of hits all of these niches that I dabble in, right? And I don't even know how yet, but I know that those books have some messages in them for me, right? And I'm interested to read and figure out what symbolism is going to speak out to me and what characters are going to call to me and relate to me. Like this journey, even though it does not make much sense and it came from out of nowhere, it almost feels like I'm excited to be on the journey, right? Like let's go. I'm ready. But I didn't think that this is where I would be on the journey. And um when you look at it from like an outer perspective, a little bit away from the center of the journey, when you're just looking from the outside in, I think that that's a good thing because I listened to a lot of Abraham Hicks before getting to these moments of clarity for myself. And I shout out Abraham Hicks because those teachings invaluable to me. Invaluable. Love you, Abraham. Um, and what I learned then, it's just applying so much right now today. And I just really did not think that those teachings were right? Like, I didn't believe that they had truth to them in that time. And it was so hard for me to get my mind wrapped around those teachings, but I did. And I'm here. And so one of the things I keep losing it, one of the things that Abraham teachings taught me when it comes to this is when you're going on a journey and when you're booking or planning this trip, right? We as humans, we have the tendency to want to itinerize everything. Wake up at 6, breakfast at 8, leave the house at 10, be on the be in the on the boat or on the plane by 12. We have everything broken down, incremental, right? And if one of those dominoes doesn't tip over at the right time, the whole thing is ruined, right? And so what I learned from Abraham's teachings is that when you are on these journeys, these hiccups in the road, they're kind of the fun in the journey, right? Because like yes, you did book your flight to go from point A to point B. But let's not always be so focused on getting to point B. Like let's enjoy the journey that it took to get. There was all of this space and time that we're just kind of like not being aware of. And maybe if we are more aware of the space and time that we're in, once we get to our destination, we'll have an even better experience there. Or maybe not, because life be throwing all kind of stuff at you. But I've learned to not take the obstacles and take the distractions as, oh my gosh, the journey is just over. It's ruined. We're never going to get to point B. There's no point in getting to point B because we have this issue right here, right now, right? So I said all of that to kind of say that I'm not focusing so much on getting to monetization. I'm not focused on getting to 100,000 followers, or I'm not focused on the end destination, because once I get to the end destination, I'm gonna have to plan from there. Like, okay, so I've arrived. Now what? Am I gonna go get coffee? Am I gonna get breakfast? Am I gonna meet up with a friend? Am I gonna get a nap? Am I gonna read a once I meet that next milestone, I'm gonna then have to make another move. So I'm just gonna enjoy this right here. And that is the creation part. This is the creation part, the silence part, the dark part that we as humans we tend to not like when we are creating something, when we're birthing something, when we're making something. And I've learned to embrace that, being in the void. Right now, this is the void. And let me change this. Oh, it changed by itself. Let me mute that. A lot going on. Um, I was actually just about to end my live, but yeah, I pretty much said out everything I want to say about why I'm over here and how this journey has been very interesting, and nothing what I planned it being. But I'm still excited to be on the journey. I still have plans. I still have goals, and I'm gonna be here on this platform documenting it and posting it and share my journey here. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go. It's now 8:34. I haven't been live for even 30 minutes yet. I'm gonna see if I can maybe go live for 30 full time to sip coffee and book. But I think 30 minute is a good amount of time to sip some coffee and just talk about a book that I've read. So I'm still working on The Keys by DJ Khaled. Um, I when I bought The Wizard of Oz, I how you say like I activated setting that it now takes the words like difficult words, hard words, and it like gives you a definition or an alternate word. And so now I kind of don't like that. But I thought it would be good for The Wizard of Oz. So it's like, how do I keep that on for one book, but then take it off for the other book? Because I don't need that on here. And I don't even know how I added that on here. Yeah, so I haven't read any today, but I'm on Weather the Storm. And I think that this chapter is talking about what I'm going to be, showing on this platform, this channel. I'm weathering a storm. Um, but it's okay, right? After that is they're gonna try to close the door on you. Just open it. I feel like I'm on that because it's like TikTok. I felt like they was trying to close the door on me, But I said, no, we don't come over here. I still like I still like doing content, but we're not gonna post it over there. We're gonna post it over here. After that is stay humble. And I'm trying to because over on TikTok I had like 2,000. It's not that much, but to me, that's I just walked away from that, and now I'm starting like 80 subscribers. So I feel like I'm starting all the way over again on a completely different path, a completely different niche, but it's more aligned and it feels more comfortable. It says more than one ingestion is using the primary URL. Send one stream to the primary URL. What does that mean?